Shedeur Sanders hasn't even touched the grass yet, but when he finally does, the Browns' quarterback battle could explode, and nobody knows who will come out on top.
Do we all realize what's going on with the Cleveland Browns offense right now? I'm not talking Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson. How do I put this? The Browns don't really have an offense right now. A lot of you have seen the viral tweets about the Browns not having any of their offensive line starters coming back. That's actually wrong. They have one starter coming back after the heart and soul tight end that's been there for nearly a decade posted his "Thank you Cleveland" post. Offensive line free agents, heart and soul tight end gone. Okay, let's talk other playmaking positions. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Okay, name another wide receiver on the team. I live in Cleveland. I partially cover the Browns for what I do. I can do it. Can you do it? Name somebody. Quinshon Judkins is great, and we pray he has a full recovery prior to training camp, but the reality is he's got a 6-month recovery timeline from the injury he sustained in December. That's a tough injury to come back from. And then you got the quarterback situation. Your guess is as good as mine as to who starts week 1 if they add somebody else. There are so many questions here, and while the Browns do have multiple first-round picks this year after last year's trade to potentially fill some of these holes, they still have the 4th lowest cap space in the NFL. They're actually $20 million in the hole, and it seems like, to me at least, there are almost too many holes to fill with the resources they have. There's also this looming cloud with Deshaun Watson having 1 more year on his contract and Todd Monken potentially being excited at the opportunity to use him for 1 year to see what it would look like in the system. That is absolutely a possibility. Now, I will say, Andrew Berry in his first year drafting, seemingly without a hand from Paul DePodesta, did an unbelievable job last year. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam said that was a huge reason that he kept his job, and he's been known to trade for big pieces to help teams in the past. But the resources are dwindling here, and the reality is on the other side of the ball, you kind of just ran your defensive coordinator, who was the assistant coach of the year a couple years back, who just got an incredible season out of defensive rookie of the year Carson Schlesinger, defensive player of the year Miles Garrett. You ran him out of town. Like, is this reclamation project possible? Yeah, there's so much young talent on this team, but it's going to take time, and I'll tell you what, the room for error in the reclamation project is a lot smaller than we realize.
He says, yeah, I think we're probably just more focused on performance and best players. Certainly time horizon factors into that, but just with any veteran player, there's no rule against extending the player's contract if they perform and do well. So I wouldn't necessarily box it into any one approach. I'd really will be performance-based. It really will be performance-based. It's all about what they do on the football field, as we all know. I mean, there's nothing that we did not know.
What if the decision was already made before a single snap was ever taken? Think about that for a second. No training camp, no spring workouts, no game film from this season. Nothing. And yet, the Cleveland Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, just walked into a room full of reporters and said something that sent shockwaves through the entire NFL world. The question everyone wanted answered was simple. Who's the quarterback? Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson? And what Andrew Berry said next, nobody was ready for it. Stay with me, because this story is deeper than you think.
So let's go ahead and keep this train rolling.
You state unequivocally that you're not trading Miles Garrett?
I'd say this, Mary Kay. Miles is a career Brown. He is one of the faces of our organization. I think we've been very clear, both past and present, in terms of our feelings. So I understand all the questions. I'll be honest, I don't really want to waste a ton more breath on the topic, because you don't know how circumstances change or what opportunities come your way. Our lean would be, if we do add someone to the quarterback room, it would be someone who's a younger player, most likely.
Let's set the scene. It's March 29th, 2026. The NFL owners' meetings are underway. Andrew Berry steps up to the microphone, and the media is locked in. They want answers. They want clarity. They want to know what the Cleveland Browns are really thinking when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, one of the most talked about young quarterbacks in recent NFL history, and Deshaun Watson, a veteran quarterback with one of the heaviest contracts in the league. This wasn't just another press conference. This was the moment Browns fans had been waiting for, the moment Shedeur supporters needed, a real answer, a real commitment. But what they got was something else entirely. Andrew Berry stood at that podium and chose his words like a man walking through a minefield. Every answer calculated, every response carefully wrapped in NFL corporate speak. A reporter asked him point blank, "Can you say definitively that you're not trading Miles Garrett?" Barry's response? He called Miles a career Brown and one of the faces of the organization. He said they've been very clear, both past and present, about their feelings. Then, and this is the part that caught everyone off guard, he basically shut the conversation down, said he didn't want to waste any more breath on the topic. That's when people started paying attention differently, because when a GM tells the media he doesn't want to talk about something, it usually means something is brewing beneath the surface. Then came the moment, the question the entire NFL world had been waiting for. What about Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson? Who wins that quarterback battle? Andrew Berry looked out at that room and he said, and I want you to really hear this, he said, "As we sit here on March 29th and nobody has touched the grass, I wouldn't handicap it for anyone." Nobody has touched the grass. That's the answer. That's what Browns fans got. Not a celebration of Shedeur, not a commitment, not even a lean. Just, we'll see when we get to spring. We'll know even more when we get to camp.
The moment that just went viral didn't look like much at first glance. No screaming, no over-the-top celebration. Just Andrew Berry walking straight toward his quarterback with a look that said everything. But if you really watched it closely, you realize something much bigger just happened inside the Cleveland Browns organization. Because that wasn't just a congratulations. That was relief. That was validation. And more than anything, that was a man silently saying, "I told you so." And the craziest part? That moment might have just exposed everything going on behind the scenes in Cleveland, but it didn't start there. It started months ago when Andrew Berry made one of the most questioned decisions of his career. Drafting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round wasn't seen as bold, it was seen as a reach. Analysts questioned it. Fans didn't understand it. Some people inside the league reportedly didn't even think Shedeur deserved a roster spot. And when you're a general manager already under pressure, that's the kind of move that can cost you your job.
So basically say, yeah, I say as we sit here on March 29th and nobody has touched the grass, nobody has really worked with our coaching staff, I wouldn't handicap it for anyone. I think everyone in that room deserves an opportunity. And so we'll certainly know a lot more as we get to the spring. We'll know even more as we get to camp. But I think, honestly, we wouldn't be doing the right thing for the team. We wouldn't be doing the right thing for that position.
Now, here's where it gets real. Because what Barry said next was actually revealing, even if he didn't mean it to be. He talked about the quarterback competition being purely performance-based. He said, and this is a direct reflection of what came out of that press conference, that there's no rule against extending a player's contract if they perform and do well. He said he wouldn't box it into any one approach, said it would be performance-based, repeated it twice, performance-based, which sounds fair, sounds logical, but think about what that actually means for Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is a rookie. He hasn't played a single NFL snap. He hasn't had a single rep with the coaching staff, and he's being asked to compete from day one against a veteran quarterback who, regardless of his recent struggles, has years of NFL experience and a massive contract already on the books. That's not a level playing field, and Barry knows it. But here's the thing, and this is important. Barry also said something that Shedeur's supporters should actually hold on to. He said, "I think everyone in that room deserves an opportunity." He said the Browns wouldn't be doing the right thing for the team if they didn't go in with their eyes wide open. And, this part matters, he acknowledged that Shedeur Sanders is a competitor. He said Shedeur doesn't want to just be handed a starting job. He welcomes competition. And that's true. Anyone who's followed Shedeur's journey knows this young man has never backed down from a challenge. Not at Colorado, not anywhere. Now, here's the other piece of this puzzle that's flying under the radar. Andrew Berry also addressed the 2026 NFL Draft. He said the Browns are picking at number 6 right now, but he made it very clear they might not be picking at number 6 when draft weekend actually arrives. He talked about potentially trading up, trading down, or even trading the pick for a veteran player. And then he added something about adding a quarterback to the room. He said their lean, if they do add someone, would be toward a younger player, but he was careful not to commit to that either. A younger player at quarterback? with Shedeur already in the building. What does that tell you? Then there's Simpson, another young quarterback name that came up at these meetings. Barry confirmed he spent time with Simpson and believes Simpson has a bright NFL future. That's not nothing. That's a GM planting a seed, even while everyone's eyes are on Shedeur. The Browns are keeping every option open, every single one. And that's exactly what makes this situation so unpredictable and honestly so fascinating to watch unfold. Here's the bottom line. Andrew Barry stood in that room and gave the media almost nothing. Political answers, safe answers, the kind of answers that protect a front office while leaving fans with more questions than when they started. He was brushing off reporter after reporter, especially when the questions got too specific. But beneath all that careful language, here's what we actually know. Shedeur Sanders is in the building. The door is open. The competition is real. And Andrew Barry himself said this decision will be performance-based, which means Shedeur gets his shot, a real shot. The only question now is, what does Shedeur do when he finally touches that grass? Because nobody, not Andrew Barry, not the media, not even the doubters, can answer that question yet. And that's exactly why this story is far from over. The spring will tell us something. Training camp will tell us more. But right now, on March 29th, 2026, the Cleveland Browns are keeping the world waiting. And Shedeur Sanders, he's just getting started. If you're riding with Shedeur through this journey, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single update as this story develops. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Shedeur wins this competition? And don't forget to like this video and share it with every Browns fan and Shedeur supporter you know. Let's keep this conversation going.